Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Good morning, gentlemen. This is Jim from Rochester. First and foremost, I want to thank you for the shout out the other day. Nice that finally somebody recognized us as being supporters of the Browns. As for comments about Browns being a Super Bowl contender, in the beginning, when the season starts, all 32 teams are contenders. It's not who begins the race, it's who crosses the finish line, and that's never us. Also, the game is still tough, despite what anybody might say. To play it, you got to be rough and tough. And as far as discipline goes, I've seen many of coaches still discipline their players on the sidelines. Our two-time coach of the year, what's he do? He gives them 2 plays off. Are you kidding me? What is this, Pop Warner?
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Let's welcome in Fred Greetham, senior analyst for the Orange and Brown Report. And Fred, relative to discipline, we aren't even the beat reporters aren't privy to how Kevin Stefanski handles discipline. They always say they keep it in-house. Relative to, this isn't an era where coaches get in players' faces. And I mean, look at it. Bill Belichick doesn't do that. It's not the 80s when Mike Ditka used to do that. It's a different, I mean, McVay, you can go right down the list. All of the guys that are recognized as really good head coaches, we don't know how they discipline their players, is the truth of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all I can do is go by what I hear, that Kevin Stefanski takes care of business. The players respect him and they follow him basically because he's proven that he's been able to win games. I mean, he's had a couple of years with COVID and injuries and at quarterback and still been able to navigate choppy waters. And the players tell me they respect him. I don't think he's the throw the trash can, kick the cat, throw things around like maybe the old school, but it is a different era, Dave. Many of these players are making 10 times the money the coach is, and it's kind of hard to tell, when they're sitting there, what are you telling me? What I make type of a thing. So I think he commands the respect and the players, that's all you can go by. And if you win, they follow you. If you lose, you start, not being listened to. But 2 times out of 4 years, coach of the year, 2 playoffs, going through some choppy waters with injuries at quarterback twice, and still, having a winning record after 4 years. It's a low bar, but the Browns haven't had any coach with a winning record, unless you throw Greg Williams's half a season since the team returned. So, yeah, I mean, and I think the positive is he's never been a head coach until he came to the Browns. So these are his first 4 years. So he's got to be learning and getting better. He's just 42 years old now. And, you have to think that just like players get better, the more they played and experience, I think he's learned from some mistakes and he's only going to get better. So I don't think his demeanor is to be a kick the wall type guy, but I still think that you can be respected, with firmness. And like I said, we don't know what's going on in the locker room, other than what we're being told by the players.
Yeah, and you bring up a valid point. You mentioned 10 times more. A lot of these guys are earning 100, 200, $1 million. So yelling and screaming at them, it's, they're going to respond by saying, I'm not a child. Don't treat me like one. And that's just the reality of coaching professional sports. It's not just football players. It's basketball players. It's baseball players. They are, for lack of a better term, a company. And you need to treat them and have their respect.